Welcome to the Embrace the Turn Up podcast. Cultural commentary from two guys who want all the smoke. All the smoke. And now your hosts, A-Dub and John.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest cultural commentary sports podcast, talking about all the shit y'all love. This is Embrace the Turn Up. It's the homie A-Dub. You guys know the vibes by now. You know why you're here. The homie John is at Puddin' Bay, of course, because, you know, he's John. But I got Khalil back. I know y'all love Khalil. So, Khalil, what's up, man? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. Well, thank you for having me back on. Ready to dive into the multitude of topics that you're ready to cover today.
The multiverse, if you will.
Exactly.
All right, so you know what? I'm just hop right into it. Because me and John discussed it on the last pod, the Travis Scott album. John gave it like 2 buffs out of 5. I think I gave it like a 3. And my whole thing was, I don't get it. So, as a youth, please explain to my old ass the Travis Scott album.
You say like you're so much older than me, but
I feel like it sometimes. Every time I look at the Rap Caviar list, I'm like, who are these people? What's happening?
See, I can't do that. Order Rap Caviar. I'll have to turn it off. But what, you want my take of the album?
Yes, please.
Out of the way that you guys just scales it, man, it's either a 4 or a 5 for me. Up there with probably album of the year. For me, I would have to say, like, you gotta put yourself in a mindset to listen to it. I actually felt like he was more actually rapping on this album than it was just killing you with auto-tune, as Travis Scott usually does. You know what I'm saying?
Kinda.
Like, when you go back and, you know, when he dropped Astro World, if you go back to the first song, Stargazing,
Yep,
as his opening track, if you listen to track 4, called My Eyes, I want to say that's track 4. It gave me a lot of like homage to that track from that album, I would say. But like I was more listening to like his lyrics that he was coming out with, and he was hitting them with a lot of metaphors and you know how much I got on here and saying I love Drake, and you know Drake is one of my favorite artists. That song that he had with him is probably like my 5th favorite song on that entire album. Wow. Actually. Okay. Yeah, like I know I would have to say My Eyes. Schizo with Young Thug. Modern Jam. And let me see if I can pull this up here. What's the second track after the intro?
Thank God.
Yeah, I could say those would probably be, and then maybe Meltdowns after that. But
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just old. But album of the year.
What didn't you like about it?
Like I don't know. Nothing stuck. Like outside of the song with Bad Bunny, the Drake verse, and I specifically say the Drake verse because the rest of the song is just okay.
And I didn't even really like Drake's verse like that.
I love Drake's verse on that. I thought he killed it. I don't know. I just wasn't impressed, but I don't know. But again, maybe it's just me because again, I didn't get Astroworld first time around. I was like, and that had to grow on me like a fungus.
How many times have you heard the album since its drop?
Utopia?
Yeah.
I probably gave it 2 more spins.
2 more spins?
I mean, after 3 spins, if you're not feeling the album, you're probably just not feeling it.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
But I want to get back to what you said, like album of the year. You know Nas dropped an album this year, right?
It ain't touching. Look, it's not touching this, man. It's not touching this. Now, I'm not gonna say I have listened to all of Nas's album, but the one track he had with 50 was nice.
That Nas album is phenomenal, my guy.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
And then, I mean, who else put out an album out this year that I thought? So you think this album's better than Jackman? Because I thought Jackman was tremendous.
I'm gonna have to. I'm not too familiar with that album. I'm gonna have to check. That
Jack
one
Harlow,
out.
you didn't.
Oh, you talking about Jack?
Yeah,
oh,
Jackman.
Yes.
I was like, wait.
Jack Harlow. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jack Harlow album was nice, but I would put Moneybags over Jack Harlow's album, honestly.
Okay. Interesting. What about your guy Uzi with the pink tape?
No.
Okay, just a flat no.
No. There's a couple tracks on there, but I felt like he did that, like how Chris Brown just drops a whole bunch of just tracks to get a lot of the streams, and I felt like that was this album. There was nothing that just like stood out to make it be a good Uzi album. Like I couldn't other than I Want to Rock, where people been already doing that. So
okay, it's interesting. Like I don't know, man. Like this Nas album was just so special. I'm like, yeah, this is because it might be like the second or third best out of this thing he's been doing with Hit Boy. So I'm like, I don't know how anybody can put out anything better this year, especially people who don't rap as good as Nas and people who don't produce as good as Hit Boy.
Listen, that's what I was like very intrigued about with the Trav album, was that he's actually like, he got bars on there, man. Like I know it probably why you're saying like you're old and like things of that nature, and it's hard for you to like skip by. But if you have Apple Music at all?
No, I hate Apple everything.
Okay.
Spotify all the day.
All right. Well, Apple Music, not to plug them or anything like that, they'll give you the lyrics while you listen to the song.
Spotify does too, yes.
Okay, so I would say go back and put it on the big screen and listen and watch the lyrics as they come by. And maybe they're not hard for you, like just hearing it with the beats and everything, maybe. But Travis be spitting some real stuff.
I've always known Travis has bars. I've always known that, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe it's and oh yeah, and like. And the Killer Mike album, like, are you gonna tell me this Travis Scott's better than that Killer Mike album?
That's tough.
Exactly, Nate.
That's tough because the last time I was on, I had to go back and I did my homework on that. That it's like 1 and 2 for me because that Killer Mike album is
Killer
crazy.
Mike album is crazy. Like, I mean, I'm just kind of scrolling through the list here, like just making sure I don't miss anything. Because I don't want to sound like a homer, but I don't know if this album is better than that Cashed Out album with Drama back on Dexter.
Stop. Stop it.
But then again, I might be a homer. I might be a homer.
Come on, man. Come on.
Just saying. But albums though.
Come on, man.
So you told me a Drake album was dropping on Friday. What happened? Come on.
Yeah, bro, man.
Come on. What happened?
The biggest pump fake. He even pump faked Amazon, but Amazon is notorious for canceling some stuff. So,
right, because I'm blaming you, even though my nigga Smiles told me to. Shout out to Smiles. It's all your fault, man. I got ready for a Drake album.
I'm sick.
I stayed up till 12:01 and it wasn't there.
It was not there.
I was like,
I was highly disappointed.
I was like, man, old niggas like me gotta go to sleep, man. Like, what are we doing here?
Listen, I was groggy as shit the next day. I was, hopefully I was gonna throw some new Drake on the way to work. Nope.
I mean, I was
So it was highly
I'll tell you,
disappointed.
I was very excited that like all my meetings for Saturday canceled. I was like, thank God, I'm going back to sleep. I checked one more time. I said, all right, nope, still not there. Still not there. Some niggas gonna hear about this when I wake up in 5 more hours.
I know. I was like, maybe all right. He dropped at West Coast time, so like when I 3 a.m. when I get up at 7, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he was waiting for the delayed drop.
Doing time math.
Didn't get it yet, right? The East Coast didn't get it yet. He was waiting until.
So,
LA.
do you think we get this album anytime soon?
I think we'll get it in October.
Why? Because he was born in October. Is that just a thing?
That's the end of his. It's the end of his tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it just. For him, I bet you if he drops it at the end of October, he just got all the tour money he just got. His tour ends in Columbus, October 9th, and that's the last day. So he drops them that week, let's say, or the week before. Everybody's going to want the next Drake concert if he's going to go on tour and perform it again. So that would just line up perfectly for him, I think. On a business standpoint, I think.
Okay.
Because if you drop, everything's coming back from her loss right now, right? Mm-hmm. You end your tour, you drop it in October. You're already October's very own. That leads into your next tour or whatever you decide to do after that. You can promote that album going forward, but it better hit the same way as her loss.
Okay. I see the logic there. I'm not mad at it. I don't know, man. I guess my thing is, I'm like, do we need another album this quickly? Like, maybe space it out a little bit. I don't know.
My fiance said the same thing. She was like, all these artists and dropping albums like left and right. Can we get through the first one first? Like, it's like
microwave culture
back to back to back to back to back. It's like. And then I have to say, well, think about people that weren't dropping music during COVID. Like, everybody had time to sit and wait, and now it's just the blessing of good music coming out right now.
Is it all good, or is it just a lot of it?
Some's good, but sometimes it can be overstimulating, I think, because you got to keep up with, who dropped here, what dropped there. That can get time consuming.
Because you don't have to like always, continually drop, especially when you're a guy of Drake's caliber. Because how long do we go between Kendrick albums? 5 years.
J. Cole albums.
Yeah. I think Sean is every like 2. I don't even think French Montana drops music this often, and he's just trying to catch a hit.
When was the last ASAP?
Well, ASAP was busy trying to get the girl everybody wanted.
Did you hear that song? Or did you like Riot?
I love Riot. I
love
Riot. I was like, I heard that. I was like,
that's the old ASAP.
I said, ASAP back. It's his time.
Yeah, he is. It is time.
I'm ready
for sure.
Yeah, the last ASAP album was 2018.
And
then before that was 2015. And then his first album was 2013. Like, he spaces them out. Like, space them out. Have some time. Go through some shit. But, I don't know. I think maybe because Drake really wants to continually be young. So he keeps up with the kids.
He do, man. Like him and doing his podcast interviews, giving that one girl a platform. I was like, man, you could tell like the whole interview was just awkward between the two of them.
Oh yeah, but it was more awkward than the Yachty interview with that girl. But again, I don't know who that person is. Maybe that's all her.
I don't know either.
It was weird. It was a weird thing. But yeah, Drake's trying to keep up with the kids. He wants to keep himself relevant for as long as he can. And
do you think that's his market at that point? Because he doesn't appeal to the older crowd.
No, I think he just wants that market. I really do, because I also think he's going to appeal to that market because he knows they're going to pay those outlandish ticket prices to come see him. Because
Yeah.
niggas my age, you asked me about them Drake concert tickets, I was like, not a fucking chance.
I hear you.
Fucking chance. I paid $120 and I saw Hove. Does he give a better concert than Hove? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably not. Probably not.
I paid less to see Kendrick.
Exactly. I paid $20 to see Method Man in BG. Nope. At Howard's, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow.
My freshman year, he came. I want to say like the third week of classes. Method Man at Howard's. I've never seen Howard's pack wall to wall since, but boy, Method Man puts on a fucking show.
That would have been a time.
He puts on a show, man.
Man,
that shit was crazy. I will say that.
That's what's up.
So like to have seen Method Man, have been like 30 feet away from him, have been to like 4 Hove shows. I'm not paying $500 for Drake. I'm not.
That's fair.
I ain't got it in me.
That's definitely.
But then these young kids, they will. They'll keep doing it because they don't know no better. Their artists have been gouging them for ticket prices for I don't know how long. Taylor Swift prices are insane. Beyonce prices are insane. So, I mean, I get it. Hey, man, keep getting your money because, I mean, I'm sure Drake wants to get to a Billy like real quick, and he doesn't seem like the guy who's like making a shit ton of outside like hip hop investments to do it. Like he's not. You don't.
Right. If
he has businesses, they're not big and known, and he doesn't put them on the forefront. And he's not doing the acting thing.
I think. Well, he's got that line with Nike.
Oh yeah, well he has that. Yep. So yeah. So he's trying to the music as much as possible. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Not mad at it at all. But there's a lot of pump fakes this week. You pump fake the Drake album on me, and then the biggest pump fake of all time is coming back. I don't know if you heard, but the homie Billy McFarland announced Fyre Fest 2. Tickets went on sale, and guess what, Khalil?
They want like 1,500.
Already sold out.
What?
Already sold out.
Man, that's got to be the bots. That's got to be the bots, bro. Because you can't have such a blatant fraud thing in your face and that sell out to people. How?
So
make it make sense.
Here's how. So you saw both of the original documentaries, right?
Yes.
So all the kids that were going, you would categorize them as clout chasers, right?
Yes.
I would argue that we probably have triple the amount of clout chasers now than we had back then.
Well, they don't get to go and they experience the same cheese, bread, and the FEMA tents that they were set up in before. Then, by golly, he is a finesser.
I can't wait for that next documentary to come out. Like,
what if he pulls it off? Then what?
Then good on him. I mean, it had to be Fyre Fest 40 before he convinced me to even look at the website. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm going to look at the website because I want to see what type of outlandish shit he's promising this time around. I really do.
Yes. I'm very intrigued to know what artist decided that he was like, you know what? I'm going to just crap on all of my fans and tell them
who's going to put their reputation
on. I know damn well
line.
that I'm not.
Yep.
I know damn well I ain't going out there and doing that.
Yeah, like I really want to know who's going to put their reputation on the line again, with this like known scammer.
Yeah, like that doesn't even make sense.
I mean, that being said, like a lot of musical artists, they end up in bed with scammers, and for different reasons, and end up either getting scammed or their fans get scammed. But this guy, he's so blatant with it, and and the thing about it is like, and he's not scamming like poor people. He's scamming rich people, which is what makes it crazier. Because when you're rich and you get scammed, somebody that knows somebody that's going to get some shit on the news. And it got on the news and it got 2 documentaries made about it. So I wonder, like, how how can you, like, even as a clout chaser, want to sign up just to, be draining your phone battery, looking at cheese sandwiches, and then hoping that somebody that works for Billy is gonna go suck some dick for water or something.
I have no idea. Like you're part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not like part of the solution at all.
It's crazy.
Like I'm happy that you segued into scamming because
we gonna talk about that other scammer.
We gotta talk about that, man. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you? So who would say we did Fyre Fest 2? What would be if you were Billy McFarland and you had, let's say, $5 million to book artists? Who would be your people that you would book?
So I gotta get an EDM DJ there because they play festivals and festivals sell out no matter what. So even if Steve Aoki, is booked and this thing goes off as terribly as we think it might, and there's a bunch of pissed off Steve Aoki fans, guess what? There's a festival tomorrow. He'll be throwing cakes at people the next day.
That's fair.
And then from there, you grab some of the new viral kids, Glorilla, or I don't know. You pick the dumbest.
Playboy Cardi. You probably get Cardi in there.
Probably. I mean, but I would say you pick a couple of kids off the XXL freshman 15.
Okay.
You get an EDM DJ in there. Maybe you talk really crazy and say you're gonna get like Florida Georgia Line or something. Somebody like who's like pop country-ish.
Okay.
And you just people who like can fill up stadiums on their own, and then some of the new rising acts, so you look even cooler to the young kids, because I think Billy McFarland is my age at this point.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because he was going out there with Ja Rule, and I'm like, like, now I'm not gonna say Ja Rule don't put on a show, because the past things that I've been seeing on the socials, I see like he be selling shows out still.
But the original Fyre Fest, what was that, like 2010?
Yeah.
Ja Rule is still a pretty cool. No, I'm sorry, 2017. So I was gonna say 20.
Oh no, yeah, the 2017. Yeah, I'm sorry, 2017 for sure. Yeah.
So I was gonna say in 2010, Ja Rule's still a pretty cool name to have out there, but in 2017, he was pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, didn't he have like the Migos was supposed to perform out there too?
Oh, I didn't hear it. I don't remember hearing that, but that's nuts. But yeah, that's kind of who I would get.
And on top of the fact, I don't understand how it sold out again either, because didn't he have like a whole bunch of social media influences, like the Jenners, Bella Hadid, like all of them influenced the younger generation to buy the tickets? That's why I'm screaming that it's the bots and Ticketmaster and the bots that eat up those tickets, jack up the price to resell them again. That has to be what it is.
Well, and you might be right, because they only put 100 tickets on sale at $500 a piece. So 500 tickets. I mean, 100 tickets at $500 a piece. What's that? 50 racks. So if I'm Billy McFarland and I got some bots, 50 racks to drive up interest, honestly, it might be worth it if you sell a couple thousand more tickets at $500 a piece.
But then you still gotta, what capital is he going to be able to be working with? Because who would be dumb enough to try to do this again? You don't. Where is it even at? Does it even say?
It's going to be. It just says the Caribbean, which is a multitude of countries.
You. And what makes you think that you're just going to be able to go to whatever country that is and just be like, we're doing this here? After they watched 2 documentaries of you scamming them people out of working for free. Like,
you just gotta hope that nobody
way.
saw the docs, man. That's all it is.
Ain't no way. Would you travel out the country right about now?
No.
Okay. So
No.
neither am I. Like, no way.
It takes a lot for me to travel outside of the city. Like, what? Where am I going? Really? Do I have to go? This? Are you sure? What?
This can't be sent as an email.
Yeah, like
we can't DoorDash or Uber this.
Yeah, like,
outside is crazy, man.
How great is this party? Are you sure? You positive? It takes a lot to get me moving. So outside the country,
I did.
I don't know.
You would be proud of me. I seen Boyz II Men this past Friday.
Okay.
They had a concert out here in Columbus.
That's worth outside. That's worth outside. Because you know cool. You're not getting no riffraff at a Boyz II Men concert.
I'll talk about that later, but yeah. We'll talk about that later.
You can't be gangbanging while End of the Road is on. You can't be scrapping all the way.
And I agree.
To the end. And then the nigga get punched in the face. Like, I don't see how that can happen. Like,
oh man, I can't wait to tell you the story. Yes.
I can't see niggas fighting when Motown Philly come on. Like,
bro,
too much positive energy in the building.
I looked at my fiance in her face. I said, "We can't be the people fighting at the Boyz II Men concert. We can't. We ain't never gonna live that down."
Motown Philly back again. Hey, nigga, what's up? You know what it is? No, it don't work. It don't work in my mind.
I can't
see it happening. But you asked the question like, where is he getting capital from, and like, how is he going to keep scamming? You just watch BS High. You see scammers, they just keep scamming until like either they get put in jail or they get a bullet put in their head. Like, somebody's dumb enough to give him some capital. Somebody.
But here's the thing, and so are we alluding into this BS
yes,
High?
we're going to talk about BS High extensively.
Okay. After the first time I watched it, I was torn. I'm still torn to some type of way, because let me just put this out there that guy is scum of the earth, worst human being that I've ever seen in my entire life, right? I will say that. The idea of creating a system or a program that is not for public, you know what I'm saying, for public schools, and not charter schools or Catholic schools of that sort, to not have the type of funding that they have. I like the idea that where he was going. I think where he messed up is that he had no plan to do it. So he just thought on his feet and figured out his best way to do what he had to do to, you know what I'm saying, maintain this idea that he had in his head. But first of all, he was never even a coach. He never even had a permit to be around children. So that was strike one. Strike two was, you can't sit up here and say that you tried to walk on at Ohio State and then you interned with Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick, but you took none of the plays. You took none of like the workouts. You didn't take anything of the sort to then give to these children a hope or a dream to be able to go D1 that you've been saying that you were going to tell them that they were going to D1. And then strike three is you took 18, 19, and what we found out to be later, 20-year-old kids, and you made them take PPP loans out in their name to mess up their credit in a world that, you know, people that look like us don't. If we got bad credit, we can't get nothing in this world. So that's like the little slim thing of hope of chance that we have in this world. And you took that away from them kids, and that's something I can't rock with. But the idea and the eye-opening, disparaging, you know, difference between charter schools and public schools about what kids go there to play football, is he opened the eyes in Ohio for that, hands down.
I mean, I don't like giving him positive credit for anything. I mean, I feel like what's been known about charter schools and the way money's moved around and how kids are kind of moved around, that I feel like that's just kind of been knowledge for a while. Like,
I hear you. My thing is that why isn't he in jail then?
because like he said, he didn't break a lot of laws, like outside of the fraud thing. Like, but he did his fraud through so many other people that, like, you can't say he did it because it becomes he said, she said. So he's very smart about his fraud to where his hands aren't on a lot of it. He's not in jail,
but because
he didn't break enough laws to really go to jail.
Right, but also OSHA, DeWine, and everybody else was going to do a criminal investigation of how this could have happened and how this could have started. Why did that criminal investigation stop? Because if you open up one can of worms for one thing, you got to open up a whole can of worms equilaterally through every single channel of high school sports in Ohio, and they wasn't ready to touch.
Well, no, they did their investigation, and at the end of their investigations, they realized that there wasn't much they could do because, like, he claimed his school was through like a religious school, and OSHA doesn't, they don't run those. And then OSHA is just kind of a governing body, but they're not of the government. And like, so really, Roy broke no laws. There's just kind of things that exist because we're like, well, there's no law against it because no one would ever be that evil to do it. Which Roy Johnson showed that there's somebody evil enough to do it.
But why isn't an ability for a charter school or something like that to have the ability to recruit outside of just their regular neighborhood to have kids come to their school and come play football? Because that's what it's doing. You're not creating a balance of having opportunity for the same kids of everybody. Right.
Like, but that's the thing about charter schools. That's why they were created. Like, they were created to create this imbalance of power around, the money that's in high school sports.
Right. Did you see that
Well, we all know that problem is already there, but they're never going to change that because charter schools were partly invented to get white kids away from all these black kids, if I'm being 100% honest.
Right.
So,
but if we create that opportunity for everybody, not just limited.
It does. I mean, it does exist for anybody. Anybody can start a charter school. Like, if you follow the rules and do everything right.
Right.
It just costs a lot of money.
He didn't do that.
It just costs a lot of money.
He didn't have money, or he didn't have a plan to do it, like, at all. It was just like, hey, I'm gonna get these plays off Madden. I'm gonna get these coaches. We gonna get this player, and on top of the fact, we're not gonna absolve some people as well. Like, them kids, you 20-some years old, saying that you need to play 21, 22, trying to go D1, coming back and saying you play in high school, you graduated 2 years ago. Come on, man.
But see, like, I think you're kind of like throwing him the grace of saying, like, he's not the problem. He is the problem because he wasn't really trying to start a school. He was trying to get on TV. He's part of this look at me culture. He's just trying to get on TV.
I will agree with you on that.
And get money. Like, he wasn't like, and he was just using the idea of these charter schools and how fucked up the system is as a means to do it. Like, let's not get it twisted and think that he's this Robin Hood figure who just kind of went down an evil path a little bit. No, he's an evil figure that went down an evil path.
I hear you.
Like, we can't absolve him of anything. He had no.
Oh, I don't know. That's why I said I started this with just of the fact that he's a scumbag. Like, he does not. I don't agree with what he did, like, at all. I just wanted to actually, the little slim hope that there was something to take out of it is that there's the disparaging difference of looking at IMG that from a private equity company to invest in $1.5 billion into a high school compared to, I mean, I went to a public school. They wasn't investing that money into a public school like that. So I'm trying to say that the vast majority of what we tell these kids when they're growing up that they're going to go play football and things of that nature, there's only one high school that, in your select area that you can go to. And if that's what you're going to do, they only take so many kids. So you got to be extraordinary to even match the level of an IMG or a St. Ed's or a St. Ignatius type level of that's what they do.
So here's where I'm going to disagree with you. Football has shown that if you're good enough to do it, they will find you. No matter what JUCO you're at, you could be at an HBCU that's not doing much. You could be, kid from nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, from Nowheresville in Nowhere State. They will find you. IMG and St. Ed's in these places exist because they find the kids that aren't necessarily they're from somewhere, but they're like, oh, you're from somewhere and you're special. Come here and let's make you into this top tier thing, and then get you off to these D1 schools. And then because IMG really part of their thing about what they do is they get these kids to D1 programs, and these kids go to the league, and then their agents are IMG. And that's part of their thing. But don't get it twisted. It happens in other countries too. Soccer academies have existed all over the world for decades, and they get these kids who and in soccer there's a lot more kids from middle of nowhere, poor as shit playing it because all you need is a ball. And they get them in these soccer academies, and they put them through the whole school, and then they turn these kids pro 13, 14, 15 on their team that is attached to that academy. So it happens other places too. The only thing is it happens here around football, but then our kids can't make money off it until they're 22, 23, and that happens partly because the commodity in the sport of football is young black kids, and that's who you can do that to more than anybody else in the world.
And that's exactly what Bomani Jones had said during the documentary, which I completely agree. And it's unfortunate that even him saying that as well, that Ron Johnson exploited that because they were black kids in America to be able to do that, because you wouldn't have been able to do that with anybody else, is what he was saying.
No, if he did this in baseball, they'd have had him in jail so fast, they'd have figured out something. Right.
Also, you mean to tell me that these parents then was like, hey, what you eat today? Did you what classes you taking? How was the teacher? What's the teacher name?
Khalil,
none of that happened.
That was my biggest issue with this whole thing. And I kind of had to take a step back. He was really targeting the most vulnerable kids who didn't have that type of system in their world. Let me tell you, if my future son one day, or my nephew, or even my little cousin was wrapped up in this, I promise you, Roy Johnson would not be drawing breath right now. I promise you. At all. No, it wouldn't be nothing that would stop me.
No, every day. No.
Every day I'm whooping that nigga's ass. Every single day.
There wasn't an issue. How'd they get on the Hall of Fame field? How did they even they didn't come with no trainers, these are all things that nobody checked off before allowing this thing to happen. When they played the game on Saturday before the Sunday game, why didn't anybody raise an issue and be like, well, just because they can't do it, no one said that they couldn't do it, but
no, it's one of those things. It's you shouldn't do it, but no one ever said you can't do it, because it's just kind of accepted that, hey, you just shouldn't do this. And I say it to people all the time, and and argue it in politics and everything. I'm like, there's a reason you have to put all these laws in for consumer protections and for player protections.
Yes.
Because if someone
Yes.
can do it, even though you really shouldn't, out of just pure safety and caring about other human beings, someone will.
Yes.
Someone will.
Yes.
And
As
Ray Johnson showed that, like,
it.
if there's no law against it, he'll just do it. And sometimes laws won't stop him either. That's why he has all these fraud cases against him.
That man literally had them stay at the hotel, pay the back end after, and had them kids moving out in 3 months on the road, man.
And to me, the worst part about the whole thing is, like, he's clearly remorseless. Like, he's remorseless, and he's like, at the end of it, like, look at me, I'm gonna do it again. I won. I'm on TV. I'm like, bro, like,
How much you think HBO cut him that check, though?
30, 40 grand. Probably 30, 40 grand.
But where did he do with all the money that that he took from all them kids?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's almost $300K alone.
Probably paying for the lawyers that he needs.
Yeah.
Like, maybe paying them in like small increments and then not paying them, and then paying off a little bit here and a little bit there. And
the math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because him breathing or being able to be on television still tell the story just that doesn't match up, because
no, like
that interview should have been done from a penitentiary cell.
100%. And I mean, you know what? And you know what? I hope he tries to run his scam again. I hope he runs across the wrong parent or adult in this situation. And
what I'm nervous about is that somebody dumb enough to give him the money to be able to do it again. That's what I'm nervous about. Is him convincing somebody dumb enough to be like, yeah, you had a good idea.
Try it again.
Let's try it again. As his one, partner in crime, him in his velour suit, at the end of the thing, was found shoplifting out of a Best Buy under a fake name. So, like,
yeah, no.
These were two people that were just scamming and trying to make. Yeah,
they're just criminals.
100%.
It was a very well put together documentary. Yeah, fuck that guy. Let's just put it right at that. I want to put a bow on that guy, because watching that just made me so upset.
I was just like, bro, no way.
I mean, I remember watching that game like in a Mexican restaurant with one of my homies, I think before we hit a road trip. And I remember having a margarita, thinking like, did someone slip something in my margarita? There's no way this game is so one-sided. Nope.
It wasn't even remotely fair.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
Remotely fair.
It was bad. But from one football documentary to another, did you watch Swamp Kids yet?
I have.
Oh.
I have.
Whew, I tell you what.
Well, very well put documentary. They left out a lot of stuff, but it was very well put.
A lot.
A lot.
They left out.
I mean, a lot.
A lot. Because namely Aaron Hernandez out here just killing people.
Let's start there. Second, so you talked that you had Cam Newton on the team, but then you transitioned to the fact that you had Tebow. Why didn't you talk about why wasn't Cam on the Gators anymore?
Bro, like that drove me nuts. And like
that doesn't make sense. And you're showing highlights of Cam Newton, so he played, but you're not going to talk about why he wasn't on the team. That's knowledge that this younger generation need to know. Like, we know why. Like, me and you know why Cam Newton wasn't on the team, but some kid that was 9 at the time doesn't know why Cam Newton was on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, like, one of the things that like kind of bothered me was how they didn't talk, like, or I mean, maybe Percy didn't want to be interviewed, or like, whatever, but Percy Harvin is like a legendary figure. First of all,
And
he
I
never
would
played a
love to hear
game
his-
when
yeah.
he wasn't an NFL game when he wasn't high. And I'm pretty sure he started doing that
Mhm.
in like college as well.
Mhm.
I think he ran the fastest like 40 time in his high school, and then beat up a kid at a basketball game the next day. Like
Mhm.
you just Percy Harvin is one of the craziest guys I've ever seen, and they didn't I don't think they did enough to highlight of how insane of an athlete he was. Like during his time at Florida, like the fact that him and Ted Ginn Jr. played in a game against each other, I really would have spoke to that more. Because again, Ted Ginn Jr., one of the fastest human beings I've ever seen.
And I'm telling you this: if number 7 Roy Hall doesn't jump on Ted Ginn's back after he runs that touchdown back, it's a different game. You know, like I don't think Ted Ginn played the same the rest of the time that they played in that national championship.
Yeah, and I feel like this documentary was real Gator heavy, as if there's a Florida Gator producing it.
Like they about to come back this year and about winning. This,
no, they want to more so
something?
protect this legacy more so than what really should have been told, because they gloss over the stories at the end of how guys got arrested and blah 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 blah. But the Pouncey twins are on this team.
Yeah, you can't. They were saints. You mean to tell me
they've been menaces for forever? Exactly.
Right. You can't. I'm not buying that at all.
But
they planted. They shed a light on that boy Tebow, didn't they?
Boy, I tell you what, Tim Tebow a very good college player, one of the best I've ever seen. Absolutely.
Yes.
But was he the Jesus Christ that they made him out to be in this? No. Show his struggles. Show what he really was. A guy who was willing just to run it down your throat, and then sometimes because you had to spy him with 1 to 2 guys, those freak athletes on the edges, who also Riley Cooper was on his team as well. That guy had a pretty good career.
Wow. Yeah, he did.
You talk about one of the best offensive lines in college football history. Tebow was really good, but so was the rest of that fucking team.
Yeah, they highlighted Brandon Spikes, and he was very good. But Dunlap, they didn't talk about Joe Hayden until damn near at the end of the documentary.
And Joe Hayden is one of the best corners in college I had ever seen.
College and pro.
I wouldn't throw the ball this way.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
You think so?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I think Joe's really good.
Joe Thomas got in. Why can't you say Joe Hayden get in?
Because Joe Thomas was clearly the best at his position for 10 years?
I say Joe Hayden was top 5 yeah, you could give me that.
But being top 5 at your position for how long was Joe Hayden's career? About
11 years. Something like that.
That doesn't put you first ballot. That might put you second or third ballot.
But I could say, all right, so Revis just got in, right?
Yes. Revis first ballot, yes. Because he's Darrelle Revis.
I feel weird saying this, but could you name me another one outside of Revis that would go before Joe Hayden?
Another corner?
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson?
He's still playing, though. I'm saying, retired. That would be
Richard Sherman? Richard Sherman's going in for Joe Hayden. Don't get it twisted.
Okay. I want to look up the stats between them two, but that's a good comparison. I give you that. I give you Sherm.
Yeah, and then
there's not many though.
I can't I'm not good at naming retired guys. Like I'm not good at naming guys who are currently playing when football season hasn't started. Now once the season starts, boom, it's right there.
Champ Bailey's in the Hall of Fame, right?
He's champ, yeah.
Okay, so he's already there.
Champ been there for just Champ, of course.
Yeah.
Champ's in, Charles Woodson's in. Richard Sherman will be in soon. He got to be out like for 5 years, so he might be coming up pretty soon here. I don't know. Joe Hayden might get in the Hall of Fame. He's not getting in first ballot.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can only pick so many guys on the ballot, and there's so many guys that haven't got in yet.
I can't wait for Nick to hear this and be like, Joe Hayden's definitely never first ballot Hall of Famer, and he played for the Steelers too. So I would love to hear his take.
So Joe Hayden will be eligible in 2027, so in 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I can't say first ballot.
There might be more players that deserve to go in the Hall of Fame before Joe Hayden outside of other positions that would make that not happen. So I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, I think when people say first ballot and they just blurt it out, sometimes they don't realize what they're saying. Like, so that means you're saying that the first time he's eligible, he's gonna get in because he was just that exceptional. And you're like, but no, like guys like Randy Moss are first ballot, Tom Brady's first ballot. Like first ballot guys are guys that the moment they step off the field, you're like
Marvin's already in there.
Yeah,
isn't Marvin Harrison already in there?
I mean, I'm sure he is, or if not, he probably shot somebody and he'll get in. So, Marvin Harrison be down there killing people, right?
You talking about his son when DB's trying to line up in front of him?
No. I'm talking about Marvin Harrison actually kills people.
Oh no, I'm not hip to that story.
Okay, so just do your Googles about Marvin Harrison. They say he's one of the scariest people to ever play football. And there's a story one time about a man who on his deathbed had gotten shot at Marvin Harrison's car wash, and as he's dying in the hospital, detectives are trying to get to him, and they say, "Hey man, do you know who shot you?" He looked them detectives dead in the eye and say, "You know who shot me? Marvin Harrison shot me." Marvin Harrison is a real life gangster. Like real life.
He looks like the nicest dude ever too. That's what's funny about it.
And he is not. He is not. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Marvin Harrison was sued in a civil lawsuit by Dwight Dixon, a convicted drug dealer, after Dixon was shot outside of Chucky's Garage in North Philly, a business owned by Harrison. Let me see if I can find that one.
Not another one. There's multiple times this has happened?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, I think it might have been this Dixon guy who got shot in his car a few blocks away from Marvin Harrison's sports bar.
So you got a sports car and a car wash. Just so you better come correct if you come to Marvin Harrison's establishments, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. And this Dixon guy claimed that Marvin Harrison hired a hitman to kill Dwight Dixon. I'm telling you, Marvin Harrison is a legit.
It's that man.
He a bad man.
It's that man.
Don't go to Philly and fuck up at Marvin Harrison's establishments, because at Marvin Harrison's establishments, if you fuck around, you will find out. 100%.
I honestly, now that being in Philly, I could see that possibly happening. So yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Nope, would not dare fuck around at a Marvin Harrison establishment.
I can tell you this: the Philly fans, like Philadelphia Eagles fans, they don't care if it's a preseason game, training camp. Jalen Hurts could be getting out of his car. The amount of die-hard fandom that they have for their city of sports teams, I have never seen it before. No. Like, I've never seen, like, traffic backed up, like, on their freeway, like, 10 miles long for a preseason football game.
Philly fans are crazy. They are
like
insane.
Insane. I'm like, your starters aren't even playing. Why is the traffic so long right now?
Because it's Philly. It's Philly.
Speaking of football season, are you ready? Or is it time to commence the annual prolonged shit talk that we have between that team up north and these Buckeyes down here?
What's there to talk about? We're going to curb stomp y'all again.
Oh, yeah. Here, you just does Jim have his playbook together as you guys decided to do the right thing and suspend him himself, right?
I think he just wanted a vacation.
He just don't want to coach the first 2 weeks. Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's like, I was like, you know what happened? They submitted to 4 games, and Jim started planning a vacation with his wife, and then the NCAA was says, "No, you good, fam." Jim's wife looked at him and said, "So what are you gonna do? Because this vacation is booked." Like, that's kind of what I think happened there. That they had 4 weekend getaways, because he's still gonna like coach practice during the week and stuff. But they had 4 weekend getaways planned, and then the NCAA was like, "No, fam, you good?" Jim's like, "Oh, I'm good. Okay." So then he went up to the president like, "Hey, so
I need the next 3 weeks off.
Yeah, I still need those next 3 weeks.
PTO.
Yeah,
I need for this PTO request.
I still need those next 3 weekends off. I can convince her to cancel the last one, but yeah, those first 3 weekends of the season, I'm gonna need those off, boss."
Yeah, I got some games I need to attend, some recruits, things of that.
No, he's just going on vacation.
Just going on vacation?
Wife booked 3 weekend getaways. 4 weekend getaways. And she's just far enough out where she can cancel the 4th one. But the other 3, she's not canceling those.
Who do you guys even play?
We play, I believe.
And you get the game on Peacock, the first ever NBC game.
Oh yeah.
For Big Ten.
We do. Our first 3 games are these are gonna be tough. I don't know how we're gonna do. Eastern Carolina, Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
Weekend after that, UNLV.
Okay.
And then weekend after that, a game I will be attending, Bowling Green.
You better watch out for them Falcons.
I tell you,
Talent's high.
I tell you what, man.
Talent's high out here.
I tell you what, man. They picked to come in 4th in the MAC, but yeah, Michigan should definitely watch out.
Yeah, talent's high. I don't even know who our quarterback is.
And then the 4th game, where I guess Jim is going to come back, we get to play the good old State University of New Jersey. Yes, I am talking about Rutgers.
Oh.
So just to get us in the swing of things, Jim's coming back so we can beat the shit out of Rutgers. Like,
oh man.
So yeah, I mean,
what? So if you could add, since we're talking about college football, do you see Let me ask you this: do you think the Big Ten is going to be expanding again?
Well, I mean, they're already getting ready to add Washington and Oregon and who else? Yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, there will be 2 conferences. It'll be the Big Ten and it'll be the SEC. There'll be 2 conferences.
I don't like that though.
No one likes it.
I like the Big 12.
But money is money.
Yeah, but I like the fact that there's the Big 12 still there and that part of the region. I guess region doesn't really matter anymore, but there still has to be. I'd say 5.
Listen, Khalil, you're talking to.
I'm interested. I'm interested because I'm interested to see if the Big Ten goes how far south they're going to go.
As far south as the
because there's
SEC lets.
I think there's 2 teams out there that will solidify Big Ten from being that dominant force in college football.
Who?
You add Florida State and Miami to the Big Ten?
No, Michigan's not gonna get. They're not gonna get south of the Mason-Dixon line. Like it's gonna be a hard line drawn by the SEC. Like you can't come south as this. Like the best the Big Ten can hope for is to pick off Missouri and maybe pick off one of those, like maybe Kentucky or
yeah.
But Tennessee on down, no, not a chance.
You don't think
No.
so?
The ACC is going to get swallowed up by the SEC at some point. Because you can believe that Miami and Florida State are on the top of the SEC's list. Like to bring back those Florida rivalries and have those be like games you can have every 1 to 2 years.
Oh yeah, because you have Florida in the SEC, and then
Miami and Florida State
that makes
are
sense.
in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about the ACC also has Duke and North Carolina
and Clemson.
You take those two, and then the Big Ten pillages off like Syracuse for basketball purposes. It's gonna be a wrap. Like, it's gonna be two conferences when it's all said and done.
I don't like it, but I see the vision of what you're saying. So what happens to the Big 12? And where does the Pac-12? Did Colorado say they're leaving for the Big 12?
Yeah, Colorado left for the Big 12.
They're in the Pac. Okay, so they're going back to the Big 12, and because weren't they in the Big 12 before,
Yes.
and then they left for the Pac-12?
Yes. Colorado's going to end up in the Big Ten.
You think so?
Yes.
I think that would be great for Deion.
Let me see. So, Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC. Let me see. Let me look at this. Iowa State's going to end up in the Big Ten. Those Texas teams all end up in the SEC. Cincinnati will be in the Big Ten, which it wouldn't shock me if that happened.
How long do you think that this will take though? Like over how many years do you think?
Over the next 10 or so, because
Oh yeah,
because the Big 12 has this deal where if they keep adding teams, then the pot of their TV deal goes up. But what's going to end up happening is as they're expanding the playoff to 12 teams, the original idea was your 5 conference winners, you hold a spot for Notre Dame if they're eligible, and then the at-larges. Here's the problem. You can't have 5 conference winners anymore. Oregon State winning a 4-team Pac-12 with a record of 4-9, getting in the playoff is not going to fly with the Big Ten and SEC anymore, at all.
Yeah, but I thought that's why there's 12 conferences now total, and we're going to a 12-team format, right?
Yeah, but the thing is
they
reserved 5 spots for the Power 5. Power 5 no longer exists. So what you're going to end up happening is you're going to see 8 spots between the Big Ten and SEC at bare minimum, and then they'll hold that spot for Notre Dame, and then maybe a couple 3 at-larges. And
so it still doesn't create the balance
of
college football anymore, really.
Not at all. Not at all. And balance is something that we want, but balance don't mean money, so it's not something we're ever going to get. Because all they care about is money, to quote the Joker.
Yes.
But
that is fair.
The Big 12 is going to survive a little bit longer because of the way their TV deal is hey, if you have some more teams, we'll give you more money. But if they didn't, it would be gone. And the ACC is about to start getting gobbled up quickly, especially if Clemson falls off the map and they're not competitive and they can't get into the playoff anymore. And then they start losing kids to, more competitive schools. SEC is going to start picking them off quickly. Clemson, you come here, Florida State, Miami. And then when that starts happening, guys in the Big 12 are going to start shaking. And then first one to jump ship out of there is going to be Cincinnati coming to the Big Ten. And then Syracuse joining them because Rutgers is right there too. So
what do you do with all the small schools then? You just say that, they're just never going to be able to chance to play for a national championship?
what's
like the MAC, WAC, Sun Belt.
They all exist, yeah.
The AAC.
They all exist, but no one's going to care. Because they'll just never have the chance. Like, they'll have, like, for a MAC school or Sunbelt school, like, to compete in the playoffs, they'll have to have like 12 NFL starters on their roster.
See, that takes away from college football then.
I agree.
Because for me, I would love for the fact that, okay, unfortunately we can't do this, and I agree with it. If you remove money out of the equation and just had the equilateral thing between all 12 conferences, and each conference winner goes to the playoff, and you play depending on strength of schedule and their records, I think that would be more entertaining for people to watch at the end of the season.
I agree 100%, but that don't make money.
No, it doesn't.
That don't make money, because at that point, that means you can have an LSU team in, but then not in Alabama. So then you have, say, a Michigan or an Ohio State playing a Toledo, and no, absolutely not. Like, at the end of the year, they want all their big dogs in there, because that's what's going to make them be able to demand more money for, the college football championship. For them to demand more money, for them to not give to the kids.
Now, what if I ask you this? What if Deion in his first season at Colorado wins Pac-12 this year?
That team's not good.
But what if it does happen?
I mean, then Lincoln Riley's going to have some questions he needs to answer, but also he's not going to
outside of that, but that then eliminate, like, that's, to fight the case that conferences wherever you play at don't matter.
Right, but okay, so Deion wins, but okay, now what? USC and Washington and Oregon are still leaving.
Oh, that's fine. They can leave, but I think that shows to the board of trustees or whoever decides to let these things go of the NCAA. I think that they see that and be like, okay, it doesn't matter where you play at. Recruits are going to go wherever they're going to go.
So wait,
because that's really what it really breaks down to, is that these schools wouldn't be what they were being if they didn't attract the talent that they're attracting of playing in the Power 5 conferences.
Right, but the thing about that Colorado team is it's full of transfers too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's not like this homegrown grassroots recruiting effort from getting kids out of high school. This year's team is going to be full of transfers. So that's also not a repeatable
transfers that's played together though.
Yeah, but that's also not a repeatable formula. But then also, you're assuming that they're making decisions based on anything more than just money.
I feel like talent attracts money though.
No. It is about who's going to give me the most money to have this team on television.
I hear
That's
you.
it.
But then you follow the money though. You saw that Deion went to Colorado and they couldn't even sell out. They couldn't even get 25,000 people in their spring game. Their spring game this year sold out, televised. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, talent plus a figure like Deion Sanders going there, it's going to attract money regardless.
Right, but I can get this money staying here, or I can get this money and more money if I leave. Because
I get it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like capitalism, and I get that. I just want to be better than capitalism.
You're in the wrong country, buddy.
Yeah,
because the TV
fair.
deal for Texas was huge, and the last time Texas was good, when Vince Young was there.
When Vince Young was there, yeah.
And you could argue, the recruiting classes, you bring in the talent, you blah 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 blah. It's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the money. It's about the marquee names and the marquee programs. Like when Wisconsin was winning the Big Ten, did anybody care?
No.
Exactly.
And they had a pretty good team. I mean, they had Russ. You know.
Yeah, they had a damn good team. Like, but nobody cared. Nobody cared. Because Wisconsin's not a marquee name. Colorado, not a marquee name now, used to be. But
when they had Cordell Stewart?
Yeah, back in those days, Colorado was they was something. So if Deion gets them back to being a marquee name, then, you know, whether they get the talent or not, they're a name again. Like, think about Notre Dame. They could have a shitty season, but guess what? They're Notre Dame.
Notre Dame looked good the other day, even though they played Navy. They look good. I didn't know that quarterback from I think Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, transferred there. I didn't know that until I was watching the game on Saturday.
I did know that, but yeah, it's all about the money at the end of the day. No matter like if you're bringing in a bunch of talent or blah 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 blah, money. It's the only thing that matters. Can you give me more money to have my games on television? Because I want more money.
That I agree.
Like, and I mean, that's the sad reality of it. Because like, I remember when I was a kid, I didn't give two shits about what happened in the SEC, like at all, or the Big East or the ACC. It was, we got to win the Big Ten, and then we got to beat whoever come out of the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl, and that's all that fucking mattered to me. Like, that's it. That's it.
That's fair.
I didn't care nothing about what was going on at the U. I don't fuck a Crimson Tide. All that shit. Fuck throwing them horns up. I didn't care about none of that. None of that. Because it was college football was this regional thing. It felt like
in 2002. In 2002, you were a Canes fan, so I'll accept it.
Well, no, that was just
because you couldn't see Ohio State win another national championship. And I know it broke your heart like it broke mine.
Listen, I'm a fan of whoever's playing Ohio State that day. I don't even see what team it is. It's just like, are they standing across from the guys in scarlet and gray? Yes, cool. I'm the biggest fan in the world.
Okay.
But again,
so I'll make this pledge with you that I will make sure that to keep you updated on all Miami games this season. I'll watch Ohio State, but I'm rolling with my Canes.
Oh yeah. You got off of that Ohio State narcotic after they did y'all kind of dirty. Yep.
They did us kind of dirty. I'll watch them and you know, in y'all rivalry, I will because my fiance goes to school there. I will root for them because they got their stuff squared away. So, but I'm remaining neutral. I just want to see a good game at this point. I'm tired of watching 21-point blowouts.
I mean, when you're on the good side of it, it feels pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It hasn't happened in a while, so we can calm it down from there.
I mean, look, I'm just letting y'all know we're gonna stomp them again because they looking real scary at quarterback right now down in Columbus.
What was the old saying? If you got two quarterbacks, you don't got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard at some point they have four, and I was like, oh, four don't make one.
I just want Emeka to do well this year. That's what I do want.
I just want Blake Corum to win the Heisman this year because had he not got hurt, I think he should have won it last year. Because that kid is unreal. I've seen him in person. He's scary. He's scary. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do at the next level, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I mean,
how you feel? Speaking of the next level, how do you feel about your fantasy team this year?
Oh, I feel good about it. That's why I've only made one trade so far. Unlike some people in our league.
Got everybody you wanted. Got everybody you wanted.
Not everybody. I did want Jahmyr Gibbs because I think he's going to end up being offensive rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wasn't like trading up to get him at all.
That's fair.
I like my team. I'm pretty good with it. You know, I'm a big proponent of draft a quarterback early if his name is Patrick Mahomes. But granted, he was one of my keepers. And again, but last year I drafted him like the first pick.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
I regretted
looking
the
at my
only
team. Like I grabbed Swift, even though he's on the Eagles now, and I'm like, well, I know what he does. And then I took Miles Sanders. Yeah. He's on Carolina now. I'm like, I trust my guys. I trust my guys.
That's fair.
I like Kadarius Toney, so I grabbed him. I'm kind of hoping he has a great game outside of Week 1, obviously. Great year, I should say.
Yeah, if he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
And you got the stack with Mahomes. So.
Yep. How you feeling about your team?
Looking at it here, I'm hurting at running back, but everything else I feel pretty solid about. Because I took Kamara and he's out for the first 3 games, but after that, I think we should be fine. And maybe Zeke will have a repeat year of last year playing for the Patriots this year. So
I don't know, man. You should worry about taking Patriot running backs, man. Running back by committee is the Patriot way. They don't have 5 motherfuckers running the ball.
As long as 15 touches the end zone, then I'm good with it.
Yeah, you better hope they don't have a TD robber the way, what's my man's that took his job was.
Oh, you talking about Tony Pollard?
Yeah, the way Pollard was taking him away from Zeke. Like, you better hope the Patriots ain't got one of those.
Well, I don't think he's going to be I think it's going to go Stevenson, and then, they'll be interchanged between him and Zeke.
Okay. Not mad at that, but before we get up on out of here, have you been watching Hard Knocks at all?
Man, yes. That's why in our group chat the other day, Nick was talking about the Jets aren't going to the playoffs. And when you watch Hard Knocks, and I understand that it's Hard Knocks preseason, you can make your own decisions about that. Aaron Rodgers looks like Aaron fucking Rodgers, man. The throws that he's making and his chemistry with Garrett Wilson, like, that's going to be something special this year.
I mean, they're in a tough division. Like,
I don't think they're going to win the division, but I think they'll make the playoffs for sure.
But then they got to have a better record than the Dolphins too. And the Dolphins,
I'm not concerned about the Dolphins. If Tua can't play, who's going to play their quarterback? Who's going to get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle the ball if Tua can't play? That's the downfall last year.
With Jalen Waddle and Tyreek out there, I could be quarterback, and we'd figure it out. I mean, I do think they got a chance because there's only one team coming out of the AFC South, and honestly, that's probably the Jags. Like, you look at the North, it's probably the Bengals and Ravens, if we're being honest with ourselves. The Chiefs, obviously out of the West, nobody else. But then, so I would say maybe. I would say 50-50. I would never be like as definitive as Nick is just to stamp that in the ground for a team that I don't follow like that.
Yeah, but I'm just basing off of what I've seen on Hard Knocks, and I like their football team, and I like Quinnen Williams up front. I think it's going to be really hard to run the ball against them. I think their secondary is questionable. I think one side of the field is locked up, but I don't know who's playing cornerback on the other side of Sauce for real.
Yeah, if you're playing a fantasy league with individual defensive players, that is my advice to you. Take the guy on the opposite side of Sauce Gardner because they're going to target him all game. Trust me.
Yes.
Trust me, I have rode that wave to championships. Oh, who's on the other side of Darrelle Revis? Click, draft.
You're right.
Why does that nigga have 9 solo tackles? Because you're not throwing the ball the other way. I'm telling you.
Right.
I learned that very quickly. IDPs, you do not go for the name. Nope, you go for the guy on the other side.
So that's my only concern, really. I think Rodgers, with Wilson being the number one, and then Lazard and Cobb getting the first downs whenever they need, they'll figure each other out because they got Nathaniel Hackett again, and it's basically going to be Green Bay's offense with the Jets.
So I will tell you,
and that running back.
Go
ahead. Those running backs are going to be nice too with Brees, Dalvin, and there's one more. Who else is the other? Michael Carter.
I will tell you this though, as someone who kept track last year, Aaron Rodgers was ass last year. Like,
yeah,
god awful.
But he didn't have. I don't think he had his. He didn't have the weapons that he has in the Jets.
Yeah, Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb there, and it was that same offense that he loves. Even though Hackett left, it's still that same offense. Like, so let's not put too much stock into how Aaron looks in the preseason. Because I watched that last game where all he had to do was win to get in. And boy, let me tell you what, he was throwing that ball to Kirby Joseph, Lions safety, if you didn't know. like Kirby was in green and white. So like
I think he was I think his time was done in Green Bay. I think he was over it.
I mean, it looked like we would just kind of whoop his ass that last game. But again, I could be
I
Homer.
think he was over
I could be a Homer. I don't know. I don't know.
They had a terrible season all year, though.
That's my point. And so and Aaron specifically had a terrible season. So,
but that was his first year without Hackett, though, right?
Since Hackett got there, yeah. But Hackett also went to Denver and looked like he didn't know what to do. Like,
because some people are not head coaches and they need to stay in a role of being an offensive coordinator.
I also think the Hackett thing is a little overplayed. I think he's just Aaron's really good friend.
You think so? Yeah.
I look at it, I'm like, that offense was like so bad last year in Denver, and I'm like, even worse than what I thought it was going to be. As I've always thought, Russ is getting worse. Obviously, it was worse than I thought it was going to be, and I'm like, maybe it's like 80% Aaron and like 20% Hackett, and like most of that is just him and Hackett are really good friends, so he's even more comfortable. You get what I'm saying? Like, so
I hear you.
I wonder about that. Like, how great is his offense versus how great is Aaron Rodgers?
We're gonna find out this year, but I'm intrigued to watch them play. I definitely am intrigued to watch them play.
Yeah, I am.
I might actually go up to Buffalo and watch them play in a game.
Hope it's the early one, not the cold one.
Yeah.
But anyways, what all right, guys?
Because they open up the season.
Oh, do they?
There.
Oh yeah,
I think that they open up the season in New York, don't they? At Monday night.
I don't know. The only game I know about opening the season is the Lions going into Kansas City and whooping their ass. That's all I know.
That you locking that in?
Oh yeah. That's the A-Dub Bookham pick. Yeah, September 7th, 8:20. Lions by 7 because they are. I'm put some respect on their name, but it's
Lions by 7.
It's going to be 14 till towards the end. And okay. They're going to try and make a comeback, and then that comeback's going to get stopped by either Aiden Hutchinson or Kirby Joseph or C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We're just so stacked on defense. So excited. Okay. All right. We got to get out of here.
All right. No doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great episode of Embrace the Turn Up Podcast. Khalil, tell the people where they can find you on these socials and everywhere else in the world.
You can find me on IG at FalconTribe55. And you can find me on Twitter at Rashid55.
There it is. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are looking for me outside of here, every Friday I do episodes of Let Me Book Your Territory, the greatest professional wrestling podcast of all time. And on these socials, man, ADUB1220 on everything. Hit the follow button. I promise I will fuck up your algorithm with filth and wrestling, not necessarily in that order. But other than that, guys, we are out.